What's up, guys? Overture here, and ever since the Titanfall beta ended, I have been hard scoping the subreddit and other forums trying to figure out all the information I can before the game comes out so I can sort of be ahead of the game and make videos about what I find. And I found this thread on the subreddit where there's a possible leak in all the maps in Titanfall. There's 15 total maps, and I wanted to kind of talk about them and give my sort of what I think the map is going to be, like the layout of it is, and just my general thoughts. And again, this is all rumors, this is speculation. This might not be what is actually in the game. It could be a complete lie, but the thing that makes me believe that it's not is there is pictures. Like, whoever played the beta, you see the map and you see a sort of like a little picture showing like what the map kind of looks like, and they have all the same art style as the two that were in the beta, so it makes me think that it's actually something that you could believe that's going to be in the game. So the first map I'm going to be talking about is called Airbase, and the description of Airbase is: IMC Airbase Sierra is defended against local wildlife by the latest generation of repulsor tower technology. And from the picture of this, I kind of see like this being a bordered area, sort of like Jurassic Park, how they had the big huge walls, the electric fences, and I see this being more of an open map. Like it's an airbase, so apparently there has to be places where the ships can like land, and I see there being sort of like buildings on either side, the middle part's completely free for Titans and all that other stuff, and buildings on the side that pilots can use. Now, the next map I see is obviously Angel City. You guys know what this looks like, what the description is. It's just your basic run-of-the-mill city map. Now, the next one is actually pretty exciting. It's gotten me a little bit excited about the game. It's called Boneyard. The description is: extensive IMC research on wildlife repulsor technology was once conducted at this facility. And at a glance, you see dragons in the map. And that kind of gets me excited because you can think about what they can add with the wildlife of this game. They can have enemy AI, such as dragons that are flying around the map that both teams have to take care of, sort of, to not sort of advance, but it's just another option to the map. And that's another thing it could be. Obviously, you see a big, huge skull, which shows how large some of the monsters could be. We're talking Pacific Rim here. And a big, huge tower-like thing that looks like an excavator tool. It seems like it's going to be a barren place, not very many buildings per se, but there could be caverns that the pilots can run across where they can find shelter from Titans and be able to call in support. Now, the next map we see is called Corporate. Applied Robotics Lab on the frontier, such as this one, developed the IMC Spectre Automated Infantry Unit. And once you look at the background, you see there's a big, huge dam and a big building with water and like wildlife in the background. I see this being, it doesn't really focus on that part. It's mostly focused about the building setting. And I see there being a big, huge building. People can run up, maybe climb on the top. We don't know yet, but there's a Titan in the middle, which makes me think that the middle part is going to be close quarters, sort of like what you see in New York with all the buildings across. There's not very many places where a Titan can go, but I see the outside parts is where the Titans are really going to focus their matters and fight off. Now, the next map is called Colony, and the description for this is: IMC militia forces clash in the close quarters of an uncharted rural colony. And what this reminds me of is that Black Ops 1 map where you are in Vietnam, and it was a DLC map, and you had this zip lines and all the other stuff. It kind of reminds me of this. It's not sort of open. There's a lot of close quarters, and there's buildings that you can crawl into. There's buildings you can get on top of. Titans are going to have a little bit hard time maneuvering through this map, and it's just going to be one of those game modes that are going to be very good for being stealthy, hiding behind corners, and just being on the move. The next map is called Demeter. Demeter is a critical fueling station for IMC forces making the jump into the frontier. And there was a note that said this was first leaked as O2. I don't know what that means, but from what this map looks, it looks like an industrial city. There seems to be an ocean in the middle, so It looks like there's a lower part and an upper part, so people can battle with Titans on the top part while fighting as pilots on the lower part as sort of an area where you can be protected from firefight from the Titans. Now, the next one, obviously we know, Fracture. We played it on the beta. It's a big, huge, open kind of built with a whole bunch of buildings, and it seems like a former colony refuge site. The next map, Lagoon, actually, this is another one I find really interesting. An IMC carrier makes an emergency landing on a small fishing village in the Freeport system. What the picture of this map reminds me of is Mass Effect 1. For those of you who played it, where you got to make the decision between Rex, living or dying, this looks like the island where this all happened. There's obviously a lot of water. There's going to be looks like a small station where ships can land and refuel and all that stuff. So that's going to be a little place where pilots can go and fight while Titans fight in the water and on the little island on the shore. This map looks really interesting. The next one is called Nexus, and IMC forces move in to pacify a backwater agriculture outpost suspected of harboring militia personnel. This looks like another one of those post-apocalyptic, like District 9 / Elysium style cities. It looks like really tall buildings. It looks like slums. In the back you see a whole bunch of wires and cables and all that stuff. It looks like it's also a close quarter map. You're going to see people doing wall jump trying to get from building to building. Titans are going to be at the bottom fighting while the pilots fight from top of the roofs. Now, the next one is called Outpost 207. Orbital defense cannon stationed at high altitude defense against the incursion of hostile capital ships. This actually looks like it's on a different planet. As you can see, you see a planet in the distance, you see a station, you see a big huge cannon. It looks like it's going to be barren, like you're on the moon. There's not going to be very many vehicles. It's going to be all terrain, mountains, all that good stuff for cover, and possibly caves. The next one is called Overlook. At a converted IMC prison way station, the militia attempt a daring prisoner rescue. What this looks like, obviously, what it says, it's a prison. It looks like that map from Black Ops 2 with the I don't remember the name of it, but it had the building where it built the robots. It had the helicopter port on top. It looks like that sort of map where it's like you see wildlife, but you also see sort of kind of buildings that you can run into. You see a plant, and this one, it looks like there's going to be a prison as well as a place up top where Titans are going to be sparring. The next one, called Relic. Parts salvaged from this old IMC shipwreck are sent to the valley below for further processing. This looks like it's come straight out of some sort of Dead Space. It looks like a colony ship, a big, huge one with this looks like a big, huge warehouse inside, like the Ishimura, like from Dead Space. And it looks like people are going to be fighting in here. Big enough, obviously, for the Titans to spar off while the pilots have room to maneuver. The next one, called Rise. Militia special forces set up a long-range desert patrol outpost at an abandoned IMC reservoir. This kind of reminds me of a desert sort of background. There's this big, huge wall where obviously it says right here there's a desert patrol. There's going to be long ranges. It's going to be barren. Titans are going to have to push up while the pilots are sort of riding or running, trying to stay stealthy while the people on the other side of the wall try and, stop them from coming over. It seems like one of those types of scenarios. Now, the next one, Smugglers Cove, is a parts arm bazaar and pirate enclave. Smugglers Cove is famous for a selection of mercenaries and black market kits. This looks like that map from Black Ops 2 where after a certain amount of time there would be water rushing on the bottom and people caught in it would die. This looks like that. There's a big huge dam on the outer side. Maybe there's a way to incorporate some sort of scenario where you can interact with the dam in some way, but it looks like down below it's going to be close quarters. There's a bazaar, so that means there's going to be a whole bunch of shops that people can sort of run through, try and find cover, while Titans are going to be fighting on the more outside areas. Now, the last one here is Training Ground, and we've seen a little bit of this during, I forgot the event, I think it was E3 or something where Titanfall was demonstrated, and the description for this is IMC pilot training programs conducted here have a 98% fatality rate. Only the strong survive. And this one kind of shows the terrain mostly, what the map landscape is going to look like. It gives us the most detailed information just from the picture. It looks like it's going to be a big place for Titans to spar off, as well as little buildings strategically placed around the map where pilots are going to be able to wall run, get on top of to fight Titans, or stay inside to be protected from Titans. There's a big, huge building in the middle. It seems like to separate the two teams from each other, and it seems like it's going to be a very hectic map with a lot of things going on at the same time. Well, there you have it, guys. All 15 Titanfall maps. Clearly, this is all speculation. We don't know how the real maps are going to be played or what they're really going to look like. I just give my sort of recommendation and like what I think about is going to happen with the maps. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think from the pictures? Do you think the maps are going to be different from how I described them? Let me know. This is Over Your Soul. Please subscribe, like all that good stuff, and have a good day.